Some good profits today. Market lifters, big clues here. Now, this is not an ordinary week. You have to be extremely careful. Plenty of traps. And I don't want you to get caught in it. Market's about to close in 5 minutes. Let's talk about some of the very important traps here that I want to talk about. Before that, today's intraday analysis. Quite a straightforward day if you knew what you're doing. I want to talk about that here. It is very interesting pink algorithm right here. Now, this was at 10.19, right? You have to understand this very important structure here. 10.19. Now, 10.19 was exactly here. This is 10.19 a.m. It's important you understand at that point. Now, just let me zoom that in so you can see it even more accurately here. Now, once again, 10.19, we identified the pink algorithm, isn't it? Now, this will be very important because at this point here, 10.19 was here. I told you have to be very careful not to go long at the pink. Wait for some sort of structure here because the pink is a resistance. You cannot be taking calls at resistances. You understand that. But importantly, you see how the teal has started building liquidity. So if you caught this early teal break here, this would still be absolutely beautiful, especially once we had that bounce off that magenta here. I will come to that in a bit. But understanding this, right, you saw an initial structure. I told you wait for cups to close, which it closed beautifully, and thereafter you wait for that pink to start building liquidity. I talked about this yellow level here. See it for yourself. Yellow off that teal. See it for yourself again, and how it built that beautiful nested inverse head and showed a pattern on the right shoulder, giving us an absolutely beautiful trade here. Now, this particular trade, if you took it from the yellow or even from the break, this would be, well, let's take a look. 5. Yeah, it's a 4-point trade right here. Impressive, isn't it? And especially if you guided it through with the orange. Discord members, you would also remember I talked about that horizontal level versus that algorithmic level right there, how you manage your stops accordingly. This was in a video that I last posted. I think it was in the live stream or the previous video, so please do check it out, have a little understanding what I'm talking about there. And there you go, you had the protected runners, and just take a look how far up that went, all the way in that magenta. Probably I'm 6 point right there if you held your runners, understanding how it never threatened so many of that horizontal levels. You see that happening there. So one structure was all you need to take. And I reminded you to be very careful trading this week, especially once we lacked continuation. And you see how we started just chopping in that zone here. You have to learn to set alerts and not overtrade this, right? So you just have to be more mindful and careful about this, right? So anyway, if that's the first time you're joining us, you will find more resources in the links in the description. Please do check them out. If you enter the Patreon page, there are free resources there as well. You don't always have to pay. So please join the Patreon page too. You will have access to some free resources like the ebook, for example. I have, I think, 500 videos of this, so you can watch it at your free time. And yeah, quite simply, a beautiful trade. 1 in the morning, that's it, right? 1 and done. And just setting alerts and not be part of this absolute travesty of a chop. So you understand with the algorithms, you know when to take a trade and you know when not to take a trade, which is absolutely important. That is an indication that you are in control. You are in control when you want to take a trade or when you do not want to. And so once again, yeah, if you have a trade here, this is beautiful. You held runners all the way to the end, fine, right? And using what I just taught you over the weekends over the horizontal levels and the algorithmic levels here. Just take a look, it's penny perfect, especially that cup and handle here with that pink algorithm. Well, it's just absolutely beautiful trade there. Now, where do we go from here? Let's take a look. No surprise here, we reclaim that 5-day from that inverse head and shoulder pattern, and now we are in that buying continuation structure. If the market wants to continue going up in this, absolutely it's possible, but you just have to be careful with this orange here. So it's best if we have some sort of retracement if we do break out from here. But being so close to the 20-day moving average, I would suggest that you wait for a 20-day retest, and by then you will see perhaps a stronger structure if the bulls want to bring this back up. Now remember, I talked about very important concept here regarding the 20-day moving average and the 5-day moving average in the previous video, so please do watch that. Links in the description, or it will be a link that will appear here at the end of the video, so please watch that. I talked very important trend indicators here. Please do watch it, because you will start seeing 5-day trending up and trying to catch up to the 20-day, which will give you some very important clues here to look out for, right? So once again, I mentioned if you want to wait for this to go up, you can afford to wait for 20-day retest, some structure to form, right? By then your 5-day will start trending up. We do form that beautiful handle with that 5-day as part of the structure that will be excellent and perfect, especially in the short week, but don't rush it. There's any initial structure there as well. It will be ideal on the way up that if the market is kind, we will continually retest 5-day, have some pullback to the 5-day or near to 5-day before we start pushing up. Now this will help with the building of liquidity on the way up before we eventually retest the 20-day moving average if this wants to regain that rally again. So understanding that will be quite important. However, you do see here that orange is still in control, isn't it? Now, if we do truly taper with that orange, I want you to wait for that cup close, that inverse cup close at that 664 yellow. That's where bulk of that liquidity that we built the cup and handle from came about. So you want to wait for the cups to close here if this wants to head down. And off that orange algorithm here as well, 5-day will also start trending up to where this level will be. Now by then you will see some sort of structure before we start heading down. So especially we do taper here with that orange level right there. Otherwise, don't forget there is this yellow as well, so pay close attention to that. The liquidity is at that 664 yellow. That's very important level. Pay close attention to that. Otherwise, don't forget there is this blue algorithm here, this blue zone. This truly wants to continue heading down. Rejection from 20-day, 5-day will start trending up here. Retest that yellow that I was talking about with that orange. That liquidity, let's grab here, close cup of 664, retest this blue algorithm, build more liquidity, re-enter into this blue zone here. So any shorts, you wait for that blue zone. By then your 5-day will start trending back down, forming that resistance on the way down as well. So 5-day becomes very important at this point. If you can avoid trading without the 5-day, try to do so this week, being a short week. I talked about the liquidity wedge here, which can be quite precarious. You have to be very careful, especially we approach 5-day quite close here now. And remember, if you want to short this, you have to wait at least for the green to break. At best if we break that 5-day and that orange. So you realize there are many key levels here, but very slow action, right? Although it's beautiful profits, you still could manage absolutely beautiful profits, but you have just to be very careful to know when not to trade on a week like that, right? So please take my advice and remember that very clearly. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you closer to opening bell.